Hi, Chris Mattson here. Very important message. Truth, freedom, health, heart-based love. Those are essential. And at this moment, collectively, we have been vastly enslaved. We are enslaved at this moment in many, many, many ways. And I'm about to go through how we're enslaved and how to get out of this slavery into freedom. First off, from birth, we've been programmed to believe, just like in the Truman Show, you know, when he was the dome there and it was a fake city and world that he was living in, and it was all under cameras. Well, pretty well everything that we're about is just like that Truman Show. We've been lied to about everything, you know. And one of the big lies is somehow you're free and you're in a free country. No. Let me explain. I'm going to show you some ways we're enslaved right now and how to get out of it. One is that from birth, you are their chattel. They are the controllers of these systems. You know, they're not about your highest good or you having a beautiful life connected with Source. They're about obedient, domesticated sheeple, people that will obey immediately whatever they say through their mainstream media, etc. Like if they said there was a virus and you better go in your house and cower, then everybody immediately does, you know, not even checking it out or, you know, just blindly believing, right? And by the way, in this case, if you look at the facts that your typical year with flu deaths, and then look at the actual numbers here, that says it all right there. There is a whole nother agenda behind this whole thing. But that's another story. That's just a small little thing compared to the whole. Now, let's, one lie, another lie that you're told is that there is overpopulation. That, you know, we're on the brink and there's hardly any more room and blah, blah, blah. The way, if you actually figure this out, and even in your own experience, you know, man, we got more land, you know, we could have literally many, 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 many more times the people and still have plenty of land for everybody to have gorgeous, beautiful lives in natural settings, right? And based on my research, we've got a lot of land that they're not even letting you know about, but that's a whole nother story. So now what this means is right now, all these animals around here, you know, there's ravens and eagles and hawks and coyotes and bears and cougars, you know, you name it, mountain goats, you know, the little critters, the muskrats and, you know, marmots, all of them. Not one of them pays another creature rent or a mortgage for where they're going to live. There is a balance, a harmony. And not one of them says, you know what, I'm going to take this whole mountainside and that's mine and no other critters are allowed. You know, no, there's just, it's a beautiful flow. How much greater are you than a critter, you know? You are the divine source. You are, you know, like, man, you are it. You're so beautiful and incredible and amazing, right? Why should you have to pay other people for your spot of land? Your birthright. That's your birthright. And it was stolen from you because you have been enslaved. I say let's get out of slavery. We can do this. Another one, big one, for me is that the whole grid system, right? Like, you know, hey, I like staying warm in the winter and I like turning on a stove and have it just go, and I like my refrigerator, and you know, and on, right? Now the thing is, I have to pay to a grid, to the controllers of all that, in order to have that. Now, Tesla proved to us, he showed it just beyond a doubt, we have free energy. Now the controllers, the same people that are controlling, making sure that you have to be enslaved here, they're the same ones that suppress this. Anytime anybody comes up with a cool idea for free energy, you know, bam, all of a sudden you don't hear about it, you know. Or they use their patent office, which is their perfect way of filtering out, hey, they figured it out, you know, and so then, bam, all of a sudden you're not hearing about it. The fact is we have free energy, you know. The military knows about it, on and on and on. And so now, you, imagine this, right? You want a beautiful little, you know, place in balance with nature. You've got your free energy, so you've got your awesome place, right? And there's no bills. You're free. You know, it's like, there you go. Done. There's the vast majority of what was causing fear and stress and anxiety in your life. You know, now you're free into a place where you can move into what is calling you. Projects. Everybody loves when they're in balance, when they're a balanced human being. They love to touch lives in beautiful ways. They love to be creative. They love to be part of community and doing things that bless others, right? You know, we will have no shortage of people willing to do things in beautiful ways. Now, another thing, how you're enslaved right now, is you can't just hop in your vehicle and just go anywhere you want on the earth. Man, you're going to hit a border sooner or later, and at that border, you don't have any rights. You know, it's like your rights are gone, man. They tell you whether you can go across and for how long, and, you know, or they can throw you in jail if they want, you know, on and on and on. Now, that is slavery. That is, it's like we're in an open prison system where you can only go so far in the cell block, right, before you meet the bars, you know, and we don't need that. Now, if everybody in this beautiful world, our family, our human family, right, all has their needs met, their free land, they have their free energy, so they've got what they need. You know, if they want to live where it's cold and grow bananas, no problem. They just do a greenhouse, right? You know, so they've got it. So what? We don't need borders. Why would we need borders? You know, these different governments, all they are is like the cell block police telling you what to do, you know. This illusion that you vote in your elected officials, you know, how, you know, that's just ridiculous. The reality is that it's all money-based, it's all contrived, and they create this false illusion of duality, red versus blue, and maybe green, throw it in there for the heck of it, you know. They're controlling all of that. So, real freedom now is you've got your beautiful land. You've got your beautiful place that's right for you. As a family grows, the children, you know, become of age, they can have their nice little spot. You know, when they no longer need it, it's just given, you know, to whoever, whatever. You know, it's just the sacred spots. Nobody takes too much, too little. It's just what's right for them. Some people like city energy, so hey, you can have your suburban kind of energies. Elderly people tend to like to be in more of a, you know, a cohesive unit there. Great. you know. We can do all of this. We're smart people, right? Any system that you can think of, banking, education, judicial, military, police, all of those systems, without exception, are created in order to keep you enslaved. Education is not there to bring up wonderful, amazing, full potential children that are excited with life and the wonder of nature and hearts filled with wanting to care for each other and be, you know, creating magical things, you know. No, they're in programming boxes where they have to raise their hand to even go pee and respond to bells, and when the authority tells them something, they must believe it. And to even graduate, it's to what degree can you regurgitate the programming of what they want you to believe, rather than setting the child free, right? You know, creatively and in every other way, you know? And so that's what we do. We completely change education into a natural-based, in balance. Moms are great at knowing how to organize and where the children are at, you know, to have a beautiful flow, you know. Another slavery we have is information. My goodness, you know, that's a huge one. That's how they keep us suppressed. They keep us in slavery by controlling the narrative. Every hour they make sure that the news has got you in fear. You know, they do that on purpose. You know, these things are not just, you know, just things that happen. This whole control system is right there in your face, right? If you're watching it on mainstream media, it is propaganda. It's that simple, right? Yeah, sure, they'll mix in some truth with a fiction, you know, like there might be some earthquake somewhere that actually happened and they'll report it, but at the same time they'll be reporting, you know, stuff to keep you in fear and all these things, you know. Military. Did you know that if you just the money spent on military could food, shelter, clothing, everybody that needs it, right? The end of poverty all over the world right now, you know? And if we've got no borders and everybody with their free land and free energy and no longer in this notion of having to work for a living, but moving in coherence, in a harmony with everything, then we don't need military. Why would we need military? Judicial, you know, judges and laws and all this stuff. Hey, the laws we need are written from birth in our heart, you know, and the only way a person has that removed from them is because they're in so much trauma and messed up from the system, from the slave system, that they can't handle it, you know? And so they become more psychopathic, narcissistic, and every other kind of trauma-based thing you can think of, you know? A person in balance and harmony that's brought up in a beautiful world of love, you know, where the ones that are most celebrated and revered are those that are giving their most to love. Those are the ones that are honored. It's not about what you possess or, you know, whether the controllers gave you a contract so you get to be a movie star or some kind of singer star or something. No, it's through service, through love, through touching lives in so many beautiful ways that you're, in a sense, uplifted, you know? And those become the ones that are elders that we really listen to and guide us through different things. And so, we could say money systems, banking, right? Again, what a joke. You know, they actually want us to believe that somehow we work hard, we pay taxes, that tax money's in a pot, in a bank or whatever, and elected government officials take that money and distribute it to have military and police and build roads and schools and all this stuff. That is an absolute lie, a joke. How it really works is it's digits on a screen, right? Now, the reason they have the taxes and all that is to make sure that collectively we're 1 or 2 paychecks away from bankruptcy, from being kicked out of the house. So it's a suppression tool. If people are starting to make too much money, right? The taxes go up and inflation, all these things, right? Or else if they're getting too much of poverty, they got to pump money in, right? But it's all, that's a whole different accounting. It's digits on a screen. It's just like if you go to buy a house, they're not putting more money in the bank or already have it that they're giving you. They just punch those digits in the screen that you owe them now. That's how it really works. And so that's another form of slavery, is that system. All of these things are enslaving. They're not there to set you free. So what does set us free as far as barter and trade and all these things? Well, first off, if you've got free energy and you've got your basic needs already met, it's not like you need a whole lot, right? And we as people want to give, want to share, want to be part of the community. You know, so a lot of it is just, you know, like a person really gets into, you know, they like building frames for pictures or something. So they have a whack of those and they give them away. Gold and silver are called God's money, you know. For certain exchanges, we could use those if, you know, if we need to for different things. But for pretty well everything, you don't see a raven negotiating with a seagull, you know, for seashells or something, you know. They just, it's there, it's just honored, you know. We can come up with systems that actually bless us, right? You know. And now next, say health. Right now, the systems are to enslave you, to keep you not completely vibrant, you know, able to just hop on a trail and run for hours, right? They're there to create customers because it's big pharma orientated. Medical doctors are not even trained in nutrition, you know. It's like, so we switched that whole thing around from the slavery, from these oil-based big pharma and ways to create customers, and this whole notion that the body is just a machine. It's not, you know. It's this beautiful torus field of electrical and emotional and spiritual and every other thing, you know. And so everything, like even in a hospital, why not have it like an arboretum kind of style so that there's creeks and there's beautiful flowers and the gorgeous fresh air that nature brings, you know? And the people that are, you know, because we're all so attuned in this vision that I have, that there's people sending love. You know, that's just one thing that people do. They gather and just send beautiful visions of healing. And the doctors are well practiced in the natural ways, because remember, the body is what does the healing, right? You know, and so give the body what it needs and it'll heal. And so they're well practiced in true healing, right? rather than police, you know, that are there, you know, police is complete control freaks. You must obey, you know, and that's again slavery from the controllers to make sure we all walk the straight line, you know. Rather than that, heart-based beings that recognize that if a person is doing actual harm to another human being or the earth, right, that being is, they're mentally unstable. There's something going on there, right? And so the actions are in effect. So actual healing of that being, you know, getting to the root cause. And there will be very little reason for any sort of enforcement in those ways even, because when a person is brought up in an environment of love from their family, from the people around them, and that all their needs are met emotionally, spiritually, you know, physically, and they're in a beautiful environment, they don't want to go out and, you know, rob and cheat and all these things. You know, it's a heart-based thing, right? And so next, which is very important, is we're taught to live in fear and stress. And then the hourly news will make sure if you forget, right? Which is intentional. And so rather than that, and those things cause illness, by the way, of course, and they cause us to be fearful of each other and things like that. That's total slavery right there. We want freedom. We want true freedom. Now we could go on and on. Literally every system that's in place is there to keep you enslaved. And I mean that without exception, you know. So we move in the heart. That's where we have to move to. Another one would be truth. Right now, from birth, we are programmed with so many lies, it's insane. Everything from the history, you know, overpopulation, global warming, on and on and on. You know, truth is required. And by truth, I mean truth in every sense of the word. Why would any corporation or government have to have classified documents or these different things, right? Why? Why would they possibly need that, you know, if they're moving in love? You know, why would they need that? I'll tell you why. Because they want to control others and control the narrative through, I have this information and I'm not, you know, I'm going to control you because I know it and I won't let you know it. Any being, corporation or otherwise, that is moving in integrity, they want all that they're doing to be shown and revealed, you know, because they are moving in authentic integrity. Most important of all, and the glue that sticks all of this together, is heart-based love, is connection with Source. Knowing that we move and have our being as consciousness. Now, whether you want to have a religion, Christianity, Christ, Krishna, Muhammad, whatever, the Buddha, it doesn't matter. You know, if your avatar is representing pure love and justice and truth and integrity and what I'm speaking of, right, then that is the basis of true religion. True religion is simply a finger pointing to true love, the heart of true love, which is God, which is the Source. the Creator. And we are in a realm, and we have been given dominion or power over this, right? And we have collectively given our power away. It's actually been stolen from us through manipulation and lies, you know. But it's time to take it back. I stand for freedom. I stand for truth. I stand for integrity. I stand for heart-based love. I stand for the next generations to come to be free and not enslaved. I stand for beautiful, pure air, pure, gorgeous earth that is not being polluted. I stand for beautiful, pure waters, shorelines, an environment that is in harmony. I stand for what I call, and others have a beautiful coin phrase, is the new earth. The elite controllers, they stand for what's called the New World Order, totalitarian state, where you are the domesticated sheeple that they cull, in other words murder, depopulate when required, and keep suppressed, and they suppress you through all the systems and the information that you're given. So there is, as a true light worker, that's another buzzword we use, and what that really means is we stand for freedom. We stand for the truth. What we are about is standing for this new earth, which means we must also expose the lies, expose how they're enslaving us through different systems, expose when the vast amount of lies. So it's not all about just singing Kumbaya, you know, in the forest holding hands and hugging trees right now. There is a faction of this that is the warrior spirit. Just like a mama bear, I have learned walking in these forests, you do not get between a mama bear and her cubs. You do all you can as soon as you see a cub to get the heck out of there, because you know mama bear is not going to be pleased with you, right? That's the warrior. That's the protector. And I don't blame her. You know, if I see innocent children, you know, being harmed, you know the warrior in me is coming out immediately, right? So when you see posts on your Facebooks and things like that about exposing things, hey, that's important. Get informed. We don't stay on that lower vibration. We move back into the heart, pure love. But we have to expose it in order to get rid of it. You know, it's just like if you got a broken arm, you got to know your arm's broken so you can put the cast on it, kind of thing. You know what I mean? So anyway, yes, I hope you stand with me and stand for truth, love, joy, all of these things, right? And to those that would say, hey, he's just a dreamer, or, you know, that's just some kind of hippie kind of thing or something. No. And I challenge anyone that is trying to challenge anything I'm saying. Okay, let's see you come up with something better. You know, something better than these systems we have now. What is better? Because right now, it is a fact. We have been and are enslaved. You know, I stand for freedom, and I will live for this. I will do all I can every moment of my life to bring about the healing, the love. Namaste. Namaste simply, it's not some new agey thing or anything. It's been around thousands of years. Simply means I see the life that you are. The life, the being, the human being, the consciousness, the observer that I am. I see that you are that too. You are like me in a different body. I see that. You know, you are my family. What I do to you, I'm doing to myself. And what you do, you know, is doing it to the collective as well. So, namaste. It is possible.